if you are worried, as Eric Holder is, about the perception of Gitmo, as I asked him, and I went down to Guantanamo Bay, and you're sitting there looking at a $250 million state-of-the-art facility being guarded by our men and women in uniform. Whatever mind or whatever impression you have of Gitmo from the news reports is false. And that includes, the top secret camp where KSM is. Which, by the way, I was standing closer than you and I are sitting from each other, away from him, and it's a very emotional time. Immediately you're looking at this guy, and you're thinking about people holding hands jumping out of the World Trade Center. This is the guy that made that happen, and so giving him the rights and the protections of our Constitution and our criminal, procedure, I'm completely against. We have a state-of-the-art courtroom down there too. Capable of holding multiple trials at once, so we can bring the witnesses from New York and the loved ones that suffered, that can talk about what it's meant for them to lose a loved one during sentencing. We can have evidence brought that will protect our CIA and FBI, that will protect our sources, but it's done so in a way where due process is there, where they are getting due process. And I do believe they should get due process. Here's the problem. When a federal judge is conflicted with allowing evidence or not allowing evidence, when Miranda is not there, or when evidence is gained by what's classified as torture under the Obama administration, what if one of these guys is acquitted? What if one of these objections by a defense attorney is sustained and evidence is kept out? Evidence that is key for a conviction. We're told by Eric Holder and the administration that these cases are going to be a slam dunk. What if they're not? Well, they've implied that they're going to re-detain them anyway. And the message that Guantanamo is sending to the global community on why we have to close it, because of the reputation it gives America, is it any better than re-detaining somebody after they've been acquitted in federal court? What kind of message does that send to the global community?
Hi, everyone. How are you? There's a few familiar faces. Well, the Americano is it's a site that we launched in September, mid-September, right for Hispanic Heritage Month. It's a bilingual site that highlights conservatism and amongst Hispanics. It's a site for American Hispanics. And I think one of the biggest objectives that we have is to bring more Hispanics on board into conservatism.
How has the media affected Hispanics in their views of America?
Sure. Well, I think at this moment, one of the challenges that we have as far as American Hispanics is to be more out in the media, not just in Spanish media, but in English media as well. One of the challenges that I have as editor of the Americano is to bring out the conservative message to media and hopefully have other media, grab some of our content and share that as well, because we do have such important pieces on Hispanics, on Hispanic heritage, on the link of Hispanic heritage to American history. So.
Thanks. Okay, what is one thing every American should know about economics?
Well, one thing, prices, how prices work, and what they do, why they exist. If you understand prices and how they affect incentives to buy, sell, consume, produce, you'll understand about 90% of what you need to know.
How much would you say a typical reporter knows about economics?
Nothing.
How much has the mainstream media contributed to America's economic ignorance?
A lot.
Do you care to elaborate?
Well, the American people get their information from the media. If the media don't understand what's going on, then the people aren't going to understand, and they don't. So they're very responsible for a lot of the problems.
Who in specific would you recommend to read this new book from Accuracy in Academia, Voodoo Anyone?
Well, I would start with journalists, young people going into journalism, anybody who is going to try to write about healthcare, energy, global warming, environmental issues, budgets, taxation, transportation, you go down the list, those are economic issues. And if you understand the basic concepts that Chris Warden writes about in this book, you'll understand those issues.